Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Me? Well, despite the fact this is going to be one seriously long day, I am fired up to bring you today's show and even more fired up to bring you tonight's show. In addition to hosting the world premiere of a new demolition film from the mighty Caterpillar, there will be prizes up for grabs too. You won't want to miss that. And then, as soon as all that is over, I'm jumping in the car and heading for JCB land ahead of tomorrow's big hydrogen themed day. As a result, there will be no show tomorrow. But I'll be back on Friday with tales of hydrogen-fueled machines and probably a whole lot more besides. Now, without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It is Wednesday, the 30th of November, and as that remarkably persistent guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, welcome to the acronym salad in the land of 1,000 umbrellas. That'll all make sense in a second. Epiroc looks to pulverise the competition. Hitachi engages with the ground, and Komatsu showcases its mine and quarry offering. Plus, Prinoth prepares for winter. And we'll get to all of that in just a second. But first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! And it's many happy returns to Gulliver's Travel author Jonathan Swift and to Huckleberry Finn author Mark Twain. Too many there. Happy birthday also to perhaps the greatest Briton, Winston Churchill, to American bandstand presenter Dick Clark, to Deep Purple bassist Roger Glover, and to playwright David Mamet, to footballer turned pundit Gary Lineker, actor Ben Stiller, and to Penny from The Big Bang, actress Kaylee Cuoco. Many happy returns to them, one and all. If you've seen our question of the day, you may have an inclination about where today's lead story is heading. Yesterday, I received a press release that highlights just how unwieldy our various governing bodies have become, how much those governing bodies love an acronym, how they have conspired, deliberately or otherwise, to create a competence card minefield, and how far removed they are from the real challenges facing working men and women in the sector. Before we get to all that, let me start with the headlines. The press release reads, a number of construction-based federations have now fully established a plant-focused sector representative organisation, that's an SRO, known as the Plant Sector Representative Organisation, PSRO. The Construction Leadership Council, CLC, identified the need for employee-based SROs to work with the standards setting bodies, SSBs, such as CITB, in agreeing suitable qualifications and any additional sector requirements for use with any CSCS logoed card schemes. The need for a plant-based SRO was identified because of a collective concern over the then sale of CITB of the leading plant card scheme CPCS and an increasing proliferation of plant-based card schemes being offered to the construction sector. Now, setting aside the fact that those first three sentences contained an acronym salad of SRO, PSRO, CLC, SSB, CITB, and CSCS, who looked at the competence card hellscape and thought, you know what this needs? Another layer of bureaucracy and administration. The idea of bringing together the various trade bodies under a single umbrella may be a good idea. In fact, I wish it had happened in time for the industry to fight to retain the red diesel subsidy. I digress. Now, if you thought the well of acronyms was now run dry, think again, because the press release goes on to say that a board has been established from the partner bodies. Build UK, the Civil Engineering Contractors Association, CECA, Construction Plant Hire Association, CPA, Federation of Piling Specialists, FPS, Home Builders Federation, HBF, National Federation of Demolition Contractors, NFDC, and the Scottish Plant Owners Association, SPOA. The group Also has representation from the HSE because, you can never have too many acronyms. The PSRO, that's the Plant Sector Representative Organisation, in case your head is now overstuffed with initials, has now been established as a private limited company. Furthermore, it has two subgroups, a technical review group and a certificating bodies group. The technical review, you can tell I'm exasperated, can't you? The technical review group consists of representatives from each of the partner bodies, and its role is to advise the board on skills, training, and card scheme certification processes. Representatives on the group need to have both good knowledge of plant card schemes and qualifications, as well as being actively involved within plant operations. And right there, is the rub. Just how many of those member organisations are actively involved in plant operations? Where is the representation from the men and the women that will be expected to abide by the rules laid down by this overarching umbrella over a series of smaller umbrella organisations? And given that this is a private limited company and not just an occasional get-together of the industry's great and good, this organisation will cost money to operate. It will require staff and quite possibly an office. As you saw earlier, it already has a website, and there's a link to that in the chat, by the way. Who pays for all of that? And can you imagine the bureaucracy lying at the heart of all of this? Trying to get an agreement between 7 member organisations before getting approval from the HSC and the CITB, 2 organisations with a proven track record of preferring meetings over any genuine action. Finally, and just as a small aside, the press release states that the new PSRO, you remember what PSRO stands for, right? It has the NFDC among its members, the National Federation of Demolition Contractors, not the National Demolition Training Group, but the NFDC itself. Assuming that is the case, the demolition industry as a whole will be represented on the board of this new umbrella organisation by an organisation that represents less than a quarter of all UK demolition companies. What about the other 3/4? When do they get to have their say? And while we're about it, the industry elite have decided to put all their little silos into one big silo to safeguard the money being made from training and a broken competence card scheme. Yet there is no sign of them taking a similar approach to things like mental health, an industry-wide gender imbalance, construction sector suicide, or the presence of drugs and alcohol on sites. Funny that. Okay, rant over. But I'd love to get your take on the new PSRO in the chat, and don't hold back. While you're about it, give some thought to this. Do we need an acronym here? Should the Breakfast Show now be known as TBS? While you're mulling that over, let me play you this.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
Now, before we get back to the show, I'm going to say a couple of very quick good mornings. Mick Norton's just joined us. Morning, Mick. Nigel Williams is in the house as well. And we have a newcomer in our midst, Pywand Dosky. I'm sorry if I've murdered your name there, but I'm going to give you your welcome confetti because I don't believe we've seen you in the chat before. So good morning to you. I'd love to know where you're watching this from and what you make of it. I'd be interested to know. Now, as I said, let's get back to the show. Have you got some concrete you'd like to pulverise? Well, fear not. Those fine folks at Epiroc have just the thing you're looking for. Now, don't forget, if demolition is your thing, please make sure you're here at 7 p.m. tonight for our Caterpillar World Premiere show. There are several prizes up for grabs. That is what one of them looks like. Let me do it that way around. Contained within is a hydraulic breaker model. Very smart it is too. Look very good on your desk or on your mantelpiece as well. Let me think. Yes, that's tonight, 7 p.m. I was just thrown by the fact that we just had a comment already on the this PSRO. Comes from our friend Nigel Williams. Question of the day. Oh, yes, please get more bodies with no teeth or guts to tackle the problems facing the industry. I might even make my own and set it up as a subscription service. Can set up automatic virtue signal posting on social media, do fuck all, and then just watch the money roll in, just like the rest of the wankers do right now. I realise we are before the watershed, but as there is some strong feeling out there, not least mine. So apologies if that language offends you, but that's the industry we work in, people. Just going back to tonight's show, tune in if you can. As I say, world premiere of a brand new Caterpillar film, but also some prizes to be won as well. So let me get on with this. Now, I need to go back to some of the things I said earlier, because there's a comment coming now that really does just sum things up for me. Let's have a look. This is going back to this PSRO. Representatives on the group need to have both good knowledge of plant card schemes and qualifications, as well as being actively involved within plant operations. Okay. All of which seems perfectly legit. When that was announced, I thought, I'll send this over to Mick Norton, because Mick likes a bit of a giggle. Mick Norton says, after the PSRO press release, I challenged the appalling lifting operations image on the website, which illustrated all that is worst practice. And they've removed it. So, going back to what they said, they have to have a clear knowledge of plant operations, and their own website features bad safety practice. Really, really inspires confidence, doesn't it? Right, let's get back to, well, I'm sure we'll go back to the PSRO in just a second, but when we visited Hitachi stand at Balmer in a previous episode, we did so looking up towards the high-reach demolition excavators, very good they were too, that they had on display. But this time, we're looking down.
We as Hitachi offer a full range of GET for construction machines. They are high quality and easy to replace. We have a wide range of teeth available for every application. On the upper side we have a full range of GET for reloaders. The lower cutting edge shows the GET that we have available for the excavators. Starting with the general purpose teeth that can be used for most applications. We have the abrasive teeth that is used for digging abrasive rock. We have a vector tooth teeth that is used for digging clay and ice. And we have another penetration tooth that is used for direct digging for rock.
It's sometimes easy to overlook the importance of ground engaging tools and equipment, but without them, excavators and wheel loaders would be literally, well, toothless, though perhaps not as toothless as this new PSRO outfit. You can't make this stuff up, can you? There's a couple more comments coming on that. Nigel Williams says, geez, even I know to vet my photos and videos before posting. And let's have a look. There we are. Don Hickman, rather, says it all, just another money-making exercise. Don't remember seeing Dan in... Don, sorry, Sorry, Don, I've got a bit of a hang up there. Don't remember seeing you in the chat before. So there is your welcome confetti. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Looks like Don is a member of the Institute of Demolition Engineers, and a fine organisation they are too. Now, let me see where I was before I so rudely interrupted myself. I think I was roughly... bear with me. There.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
And still the PSRO comments continue to come in. Dan Cullen says, I agree. Yes, they need to have knowledge and not just out of school and going by the book. Need to know and have need to have 10 years experience minimum. Yes, I agree. And 10 years recent experience. One of my other concerns with all of this, and it is one of a number of concerns, is by the time you've reached the upper echelons of the industry and you are the chairman or the president or whatever it might be of a trade organisation, you're pretty far removed from day-to-day plant operations, are you not? Are you aware of the latest equipment that's out there? Are you hands-on familiar with all of that? I very much doubt it. Now, I think we need one of...
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
We are Bavaria bound again, people. The Komatsu stand at Bauma 2022 was among the most impressive at the show. It really was. And so our latest trip down Messe München memory lane features them. More specifically, it features their product offering in the sphere of mining and quarrying.
Here at Bauma, we introduce an important part of our range of machines to you. You get a chance of seeing them, touching them, or even take place in them. But no matter how proud we are of our technology, maybe the human contact is even more important. It's an excellent opportunity to meet each other and find out how we can meet your needs.
For us, selling machines is one part, but obviously we need to understand the needs of the customers. We need to understand what they want, what is their specific requirement. Not every site is the same, not every customer is the same, obviously, so we just really reach out to them, talk with them, get their productivities, get their needs, their requirements, and then we make simulations, support them, and show them what our machines can actually do, and then it's just a matter of making the right choices together.
It all starts even before buying a machine. Our international network of application engineers from Komatsu, as well as from our distribution network, is ready to assist customers in the process of selecting the right machine for their particular needs. We call this our Optimum Fleet Recommendation, or OFR. Highly trained application engineers visit the customer's job site to gather the necessary information and perform on-site measurements. This way, we can provide you with data-driven, accurate advice.
C'est un magnifique outil, totalement. Donc là, on peut prévoir un scénario, on peut le modifier aussi. Si certains paramètres changent, style le débit horaire qui doit augmenter, si le dénivelé est plus important, si la carrière s'étend, nous sommes dans une démarche d'agrandissement du site aussi. Donc voilà, c'est un scénario qu'on peut reporter presque à l'infini.
We also offer the possibility of Komatsu partnering in your investments. Komatsu Finance offers innovative and flexible finance and leasing packages. And by handing over the keys of your new machine, we start a long-term commitment of supporting you. We've got your back, remotely via contracts and personally on your site.
Komatsu ist eigentlich für uns nicht nur die gelbe Farbe, die haben andere auch. Komatsu ist der Support, eigentlich für den Kunden entsprechende Lösungen zu bieten. Und wir hatten mit Komatsu die höchsten Produktivitäten und vor allem das Wesentliche ist die Kosten je Betriebsstunde haben wir ein Optimum mit diesen Maschinen gefunden.
Here we have a nice example of a success story in Austria for many years. By working closely together and communicating well for more than 20 years, more than 40 Komatsu machines are already working here to everyone's satisfaction. There is even a permanent mechanic on site, provided by the local distributor. We like to see the machine business as a partnership with customers. Of course we sell machines, but we do much more than that. We use our know-how, but are happy to learn more every day through your know-how, and thus creating more and more value together.
Awesome kit, awesome stand, awesome company. Now, going back to PSRO, I knew ahead of today's show that I was unleashing a can of worms, and boy, oh boy, have I ever. Not many are hands-on. That is the issue out there. They rather sit in their warm office and moan from there than actually go and talk to operators and people on the ground. Totally agree. And in that vein, Nigel Williams is throwing his hat in the ring. Any PSRO bods watching, I'm sure they're not. I'm available for consultation work on a day rate basis or could give you an hourly rate. Contact me by email from the seat of the cab at gmail.com to discuss how I can further assist you in creating a better construction industry. I think you've missed the purpose here, Nigel. As far as I can tell, the purpose of the PSRO is not to create a better construction industry. It is purely to ring fence the cash cow that is competence card schemes and training. I don't think you'd want to be a part of that, but it would be nice to think that they might reach out and speak to somebody that actually operates plant before they start laying down the law about the operation of plant. Just a thought. That's the way. Buy enough kit and we'll chuck you a fitter in. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's have a look. Mick Norton says the newly formed PSRO had the ideal opportunity to bring in fresh blood on the board, but have opted to remain with what is the old CPCS Management Committee, and this will be its Achilles heel. One of many Achilles heels. I guess you can only have two, can't you? Let's have a look. Don Hickman, I've got it right now. It bugs me to death as all the talk about plant excavators within the construction industry leads on to creating these tongue-tying, useless organizations, in my opinion. When the use of plant and the largest excavators are within our industry, demolition, yet we never get a look in or get to have a say. Just another training competence-based moneymaker. Yes. Yeah, I was at an NFDC AGM just a few years ago where the National Demolition and Training Group, NDTG, was described as the NFDC's cash cow. And that is precisely what it is. And I'll reiterate this once again. The NFDC is about 135, 140 members. There are more than 500 members, 500 demolition companies in the country. That means that the NFDC represents about a quarter of all the industry, and yet it is part of an organisation that is laying down the law, or will be laying down the law, on competence card schemes. So 1/4 of the industry will dictate what the other 3/4 has to do. How on earth is that right? Jim Turner, sorry, missed the question of the day. Question of the day was, well, I'll tell you what, rather than telling you what it is, I'll post it again. There you go. It's in the chat now. Nigel Williams, I just want to dismantle it from inside. It's the only way. Yeah, you can either, what is the expression? Stand outside pissing in or be inside pissing out. I can never work that one out. Now, let me get back to the show. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more chat about this after in the after show party, but let's get back to this. As you all know, I was lucky enough recently to visit the Nürburgring in Germany in the company of those fine folks at Volvo just a few weeks ago. When I wasn't messing about in electric wheel loaders, I was there basically to see the equipment that Volvo has developed to support the World Rallycross Championships, and very impressive it was too. Well, another company has been busily developing specialist equipment for another specialist sport. And, well, I tell you what, I'll let the film speak for itself.
Prinoth Bison is a perfect tool for World Cup courses because of its climbability, its nimbleness, its reliability, and the surface that it leaves behind the tiller. The power is incredible in the Stage 5 Bison, 422 horses at 1,399 foot-pounds of torque. Makes easy work of the steeps and pushing snow around, and we get it to where we need it on the course. So much goes into preparing the course way before the snowcats even hit the snow. First, the snowmakers are out making the snow. Once machines hit the hill, we push the snowmaking out, set the course, get the grade, track it up, open it up. We usually water and then reseal that surface. It's a massive effort with everybody involved. We're looking at cat time alone, 100 plus hours. We're out here around the clock working on the course day and night. Spending that many hours in the machine, the center seat's very comfortable.
On a World Cup course, we're looking for really firm, hard, icy surfaces that are consistent, so no other tracks in them. You want it pretty smooth and hard so you can have those edges set in perfectly. When it's too soft, it's not really ideal for 75 competitors on it. I think the snow surface plays a huge part of how athletes do all day long. When a slope is prepared by a Prinoth, you can feel the difference when you're skiing. It's so smooth and easy, and it's ideal. We ski all across the globe all year long. We are top caliber athletes, so when we have a really high caliber machine preparing the slope every time, it makes it a lot more consistent from country to country.
We have world-class machines building world-class courses for world-class athletes. I believe no other machine can prepare a course the way the Stage 5 Bison can.
I don't ski and I'm not a big fan of the cold, but that looks amazing. I'd love to spend a day doing that. Right, let's get back to this. Right, before we draw a veil over the main part of today's show, another very quick reminder about our show later this evening. Now, just a couple of very quick points about tonight's show. You can watch it on the Facebook page of Demolition News and on my personal LinkedIn page. Obviously, Mark Anthony, you know where to find me over there. We are hoping to grab the live feed and play it on the Diggers and Dozers Facebook page as well, but that will hinge upon Facebook technology. So if you want to watch it live and be guaranteed to be able to take part, ask questions, leave comments, and enter the competition, then you have to watch either on Facebook, that's Demolition News Facebook page, or over on YouTube. And on the subject of YouTube, I tell you what, let me just post a link to YouTube right now. There you go. That's where the show will be appearing. It will also be appearing over on demolitionnews.com, but you won't be able to interact from there. You won't be able to comment. You won't be able to enter the competition. So I would strongly recommend on this one occasion that you head on over to Demolition News YouTube channel and watch from there. The quality would be better as well, and you can obviously take part to win an exclusive hydraulic breaker model from Caterpillar. There's 3 of those up for grabs, and I've also got a couple of copies of my book, The Japanese Way, which was inspired by my trip with Caterpillar to Japan a couple of years ago. You can find a link to the YouTube show in the chat right now. The show begins at 7 p.m. sharp, and I really, really hope to see you there. It's going to be a good one.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
Right, that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around for that, then please stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. And please, if you are able, tune in tonight on LinkedIn, on Demolition News Facebook, or Demolition News YouTube channel. Love to see you there. But if you have the time and the inclination, I will see you on the other side of this.